All right, guys, you're back again with the Finder of Greatness. So you guys like the silver video, and you probably wonder how I knew so much about silver. So I'm just going to kind of bring you in. This is in my extra room, in my hoard. Please excuse the mess. There's no organization. But what you're looking at right here is probably around $10,000 or $15,000, maybe a little more in silver. So what's fun about silver is you can find it in all shapes, patterns, and things. I'm just going to show you kind of a broad spectrum of things that I have that are silver. There's nothing fake here. This is all real silver. All of these items have been found at thrift stores, yard sales, auctions, Facebook Marketplace, and eBay. I've bought a lot of silver off eBay because people kind of don't know what they have. All right, so to start off with, we'll start off with this, a very non-typical. This is actually a trivet. And if you notice, it does have an initial right here. This is over glass, but this is pure sterling silver over the glass. Now, it's almost always marked on an outer edge. It'll say something like sterling or 925. But a little clue that I like to use, if it's glass and it looks white, then you know it's silver. Now, this is a trivet, so it's been used for hot and cold, so there's a lot of temperature exchange, which causes this weird patina, and also just touching it in general. So this is over 100 years old. It's really cool that it's not broken. Then of course we have baby cups and like regular size cups. Notice the patina. There's not much rainbow sheen here. It's kind of like a uniform or non-uniform, almost like a paintbrush. That's where it's been washed and somebody didn't properly dry it, or maybe there's sweat from their fingers. And then inside the cup we've got your typical spoons. This is like a butter knife, and then here's like a specialty, maybe a fruit knife. Now the cool thing about fruit knives is that usually fruit knives are solid silver, because the acidity in the fruit will eat through other materials, and so they would use silver instead. You've also got like large cups. These cups right here are like, I don't know, 200 a piece roughly. I remember when I bought these, I paid $65 a piece. I got a great deal. All right, cups. We've got, this is a bread cover, and this is like Chase. You can tell that's silver. See how shiny it is. Here's another clue. Silver's very like harmonic. Obviously, that's harmonic. I have not found any marks on this. I actually bought this from a friend at his yard sale. He's probably going to see this video and be like, I didn't know that was silver. Dave, if you see this, I do believe this is silver, but I've added it to my collection. With the current rise in silver, I want to melt everything, but I can't. All right, continuing. Right here, little bowl, nice little bowl. It's marked on the bottom. Right there's your maker's mark, and then it'll say sterling somewhere down here. And then here you've got like, this is like a little, you know, a little, maybe a finger dish for cleaning your fingers. This is an older piece, and this would be like an ashtray. This is probably a coaster. Got a couple of those. You've got just like basic dishes. This is heavy. You've got like a little basket here that's, you know, got the pierced look. This doesn't look sterling, but it is. I've tested it, and if you see there, it's just a thick coating of like dust and stuff. Another plate. Really, really nice piece. Kind of like a flower. Of course, you've got little cognacs like this. You've got trophies. Here's an early, this is a Greenville Country Club from Greenville, South Carolina, 1905. And actually right here it says Capers Cup Tournament 1916, won by T.H. Boyd. So the course was formed in 1905, and this is from 1916. So that was the 11th year trophy, which is really cool. It's a very heavy item. All right, right here, you've got a really cool early tea set. This is early Austrian silver, and here's your picture. This set is on eBay, I believe, for around $2,500 or $3,500. It's probably going to go up because silver's going up. But maker's mark, notice the maker's mark right there, and then sometimes on the bottom you'll see another one. But with this one, the maker's marks are on the side. Right there's your Austrian silver mark. I found that set at a thrift store for $10. Almost passed out. Here's a really, really cool piece. This is 1856. And this is a trophy given for the best barred flannel. And what's interesting about this was for the World's Exposition, which predated the World's Fair. You might know the World's Fair. This is a piece that predates that. This piece here is, you know, an exceptional trophy piece, and this would probably sell for, I don't know, 10 times melt value. Just in melt value is probably $100, so this is probably a $1,000 item. Really cool. Here's a couple of oddballs. You got this little very nice deco tray, if you will. Of course, salt and pepper shakers. People often miss these. This right here, this is sterling. Obviously, this is glass. And then here, this is sterling. Now, it's not solid silver. This is a very thin micron coating of silver. But it is still silver. And then, of course, candlesticks. Here's a 3-arm. I've got big ones. Look right up there. There's a 4-arm. But you just never know where silver is going to pop up, and you got to always be looking for it. Here's a perfume container. I mean, absolutely amazing. This is sterling over glass. All right, let's find something interesting. Okay, this is cool. Here you go. This is a cigar holder. Absolutely awesome. And right there's your sterling mark. Sterling. The fun thing about sterling, it's always marked. There are very few pieces that I have here that are not marked. This is a really exceptional piece. This is an early Southern sugar, okay, open sugar. Does have monogram. Now, monogram can take away from a piece, but in this instance, if we can figure out who this monogram is, FAC, and we can track them to the period in the year, we can find out who this is. It might actually help the value. But you can also, you could have that kind of, you know, scrubbed out. All right, here's a cool piece. This is Lapis Lazuli, which is a really neat gemstone. And then that's a sterling toucan bird. Sterling there, sterling here, and sterling there, and sterling feet. Interesting, I bought this at a yard sale, and the lady was like, all of these pieces are pewter. And I said, okay. And I just flipped over, I saw the 925. I said, how much do you want for that? She goes, oh, give me $2. So I gave her $2. I believe this little bird sells for like 220, 230 bucks. Bells, always check bells. Obviously, notice the sound. It sounds way better than any bell you've ever heard. So that gives you an idea of what can be silver. I could go on for hours, but I don't want to bore you. There's more coasters. Just keep your eyes peeled for silver, folks. And of course, old vanity makeup mirrors. That right there is about $100 in silver. And they made brushes too. There's a brush. That's a match set. Now that's worth a little more as a match set. It's got a little damage. It's silver. Silver's soft. I honestly hoard all this because I was thinking once it hit $50 an ounce, I'll melt it down. And then it just kept going up, and I changed my mind. So this is a little 401k, if you will. There's a nice sterling bowl with a plastic bottom, but it says International Sterling. If you ever see that sticker, International Sterling, this is likely going to be sterling. So I hope you learned something from this. Plates and bowls, platters, coasters. You can find silver anywhere, folks. I wish you luck, and thanks for joining. And please like, share, subscribe, follow. I would love to just keep teaching people what I know. I make a living doing this, so why can't I share it? Thanks for joining, guys.